Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the installation, and hopefully it's all going to work well. Let's cross our fingers, right? Well then, I think we've got a dud. I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down and pick another disk. Okay, this one I've just picked is going to be Windows 10 x64. It's not going to be Windows 10 N. Should still work though. Now obviously I would expect Windows 7 to be faster than Windows 10, and I also expect Debian XFCE to be faster than Linux Mint, but that's just fairly standard. Okay, now that all of them are ready, I'm going to go ahead and start this timer, and then I'm going to resume each of these as fast as I can. Well then. Oh. Okay. Now that all of them Oh wow, that's a nice feedback loop. Sorry, I'm just gonna go turn the mic off. In case you were wondering why that happened, it's because I'm also listening to this on my phone to be sure it streams correctly. Ooh, and remember, they're all running on the same computer at the same time, so it's not going to be fast at all. Nice, 85% memory usage and 50% CPU usage. I looked it up, and apparently expanding Windows files takes ages, so no reason to be concerned yet. Wow, really sorry about missing that, but apparently Linux Ment's already installed. So I'm going to go ahead and at some point figure out at which time it finished installing. I'll go ahead and put some text up on the screen probably once I figure that out. But in the meantime, since it's already installed, I'm just going to go ahead and shut down this VM. There we go. Cool. So hopefully this all works out. Dang it. Silly little Linux Mint. It didn't tell me when it finished. So I'm just gonna write down that it finished at 25 minutes because it was probably finished by then. Anyway, best of luck. Wow, this is really surprising. I never expected that Linux Mint would install first, but it has. I, of course, predict that Debian will finish installing next, but I didn't expect that Windows 10 would finish first either. Well, first for Windows. Both of the other contenders seem to be taking some time, so I'll let them be. And of course, I'll get the time right when it comes. Okay, I just noticed that the Debian's done something, so I'm going to go ahead and tend to that right now. I can't really tell what it's doing, but hopefully it's doing so. Okay, it's almost done. Nice. Well, then that was pretty bad. I dropped over 600 frames. That's not good. Looks like Debian's pretty close, and I don't want to call it too early, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. Debian is beating out both Windows 7 and Windows 10 by quite a good amount of time. And it's done. Oh, and things are wrapping up quite nicely because it seems that Windows 10 is almost done installing too. Now, Windows 7 is going to take a bit of time, but hopefully not too long. I I should mention that after this finishes, I'm going to do a boot up time comparison. Now, I do need to mention that with Windows, generally, when it says reboot, it hasn't entirely finished, but I'm going to count it as finished because it's pretty close, and I can't expect it's going to take all that much longer to do the first time setup. And Windows 7 has reached the same stage that Windows 10 had. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it. What time is it? 38, I'll say. Now then, now that all these have installed, it's going to be time to do the startup comparison. But first I'm going to start up Windows 10 and Windows 7 to give them time to do their first boot initialization. And you know what, the others are somewhat done for now, so I really don't find the need to resize it much. I really should mention that Windows 10 is currently running on top of my OBS instance, like literally the Windows on top of it. So, I'm not sure if that's going to really impact anything, but I hope it's not too much of a problem. Anyway, so seems like they're all doing their thing, and hopefully it's all going to work out, and I won't have to do much intervention myself. So remember what I said about it only taking a little while for them to do their first boot? Well, I don't know how long it's been because I stopped the timer. Probably 4 minutes. It's a bit longer than I expected, but they're all being virtualized and taking 2048 megs each. And for the actual boot, I'm going to disconnect the DVD, virtual DVD. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave because I think this is going to take a while, but I'm going to remotely monitor it. Never mind. Windows 7 just booted. Well, did something. I'll see. I should probably mention, the last time I installed Windows 10 instead of Hyper-V, it took ages to get past this screen. So, it might still take ages. Actually, I think I'm going to do a precautionary boot of Linux Mint just to be sure it doesn't need the same setup as Windows. I know for sure that Debian won't require this, but, you never know with these more fancy, full-fledged Linux distros. Debian XFCE is pretty simple, really, so I'm surprised it took so long to install. By the way, if you hear a kitty cat, it is a kitty cat. Kitty, speak. Not really sensing much vocabulary going on, but whatever. Ooh, and take a wild guess why I haven't enabled the webcam for this one. Come on, kitty, I need a meow. No? Okay. Well, it's because I pretty much haven't been at this desk for most of the time. If you heard that awful sound, please ignore it. Amelia. I think my cat wants food, really. But, I mean, who knows? I'll figure out pretty shortly, though, depending on what noise she makes. Yeah, sounds like food. You know, initially I was scared that this might take more than 12 hours, but I mean, given the current progress, I think it's just gonna take another, what? I'd have to guess 20 minutes or so. Now, this lack of progress with Linux Mint is actually slightly concerning. I can see my mouse pointer, but not much more. I'd like it to have booted by now, you know? Seems right when I say something like that, it just goes ahead and boots. So, let's see how it's going. You can hear the sound, I can't because I turned off my earbuds. Just give me a moment, I'll put those back on. Okay, I've went and put on my earbuds, so I don't know if there's much sound, but I just want to see. Software rendering mode, no kidding, I haven't enabled remote FX. Go ahead, turn that off. There is no internet connected because I want to live stream at the same time, and bridging it would drastically reduce the speed. Let's see. Seems pretty good. Yeah, I'd call that a full boot. Now, Windows 10, Microsoft have chosen to completely not give any information on progress, which is kind of frustrating. But for Windows 7, I get a sort of idea of the progress. This is working fairly well. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down gracefully. And I'm going to go ahead, boot up Debian, just make sure that that's good. So they can all have had a first boot. And then, yeah. So hopefully it works well. I mean, that's really all you can hope. Good boy, Linux Mint. Or good girl, I'm not really sure. Go ahead, shut down. Yep. That's all working out. So then I'm going to go ahead, boot up Debian XFCE, make sure that feels like working. Good old Debian boots pretty quickly. Okay, I'd like to resize the window. Thank you very much, Microsoft. I'm asked quite often why I use Windows Server, not Linux. And it's because I like to play games. And, uh-oh. I hope it boots. That doesn't look very helpful. Okay. Well then. I don't like that error, but I think it's still gonna boot. We'll see. Anyway, I use Windows because I can play games on it more easily and it's more compatible with a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, that's gonna boot. I've also disabled dynamic window previews, which is a lot more helpful than you think. Like, you wouldn't believe how helpful it is to not have dynamic window previews. Silly, silly duck trying to raise network interfaces. There are none. Anyway, even if I enabled them, I'd probably have to install all those stupid drivers. Actually, I take that back. I installed this previously and it didn't need the drivers, so that's all good. Hopefully it's going to load LightDM correctly. Actually, I don't know if it is that. I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure it is. Windows 7 is doing its thing. Windows 10, I would want to hope is doing something, but there's no way for me to easily tell. So I'm just going to have to hope. Hoping is all I can do right now. Man, I just coughed pretty nicely. Well, this is really taking ages, so I'm just gonna go to the other room. See how it works. Woot! We got a Debian boot up, and then both Windows 7 and Windows 10 seem to have done something new. So that's cool. I wasn't expecting it this early. Now I have to deal with holding my mic. Can't remember what my username was. I think it was Zenaseeker. Yeah, it was. Oh, feedback. The ever useful banana password. Well, at least I can say it's doing something. I think it's going to take a while still, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Yay, he says. So, Windows 7 has went ahead and booted. Debian is thinking very hard about booting. Windows 10 is also thinking very hard about booting, but it hasn't made up its mind yet. Yay! Debian XFCE has made up its mind. It has booted well and fully. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down the only nice way that I know how. Windows 7's thinking, and Windows 10 is, I don't even know what it's doing at this point. Well, that's nice. Hopefully Debian shuts down. I don't like that Windows 10's taking so long. Hey, well, it's went and finished. So, both of them have actually done quite nicely. That's about right. Where's the button? Yes. Then Windows 7, it's happy too. It's not running Arrow theme because it's not accelerated, but whatever. It's even got a remote desktop connection, but no internet, so I don't see how that's going to help. Go ahead and shut that down. And I think Windows already knows, it's just pestering me. So, yep, Windows 7 shutting down. Skip. I already have a perfectly good keyboard. Hopefully Windows 7 shuts down nicely. I think Windows 10 should be faster since it doesn't try to do that whole arrow theme gimmick, but if it isn't, I'm going to be disappointed. Okay, Windows 7 shut down. This thing better work. I don't have a network. Like yourself. Should probably disable SparkleCam first, just to be on the safe side. I want to be sure that I actually have any hard disk space left after this. I mean, I'm obviously just going to delete these VMs, but... Oh. So I'm missing a good 50 gigabytes. That's what you get trying to make a fancy video. Yeah, I don't have internet. Skip. No kidding, I don't have internet. Who's going to use this PC? You know what? I don't need to give my real name. My name is Zenaseeker the Third. That's good enough. And password. I'll show you guys how about banana. That's what it's been this entire time, actually. Except for Debian, I was an idiot and I used an actually good password for the root password. Unforgettable. Sure, I'm never gonna forget this one. Ooh. Remember, I'm doing this all one-handed because I'm carrying a mic. I could use the mic. Seriously? Seriously, Windows? You've gone too far, Bill. Too far. Okay. How about yellow south Is that not good enough? Better not. Okay. If it said something funny like your password hint cannot be the definition of your password, then I would be incredibly triggered. Cortana, well, not gonna work anyway because I don't have internet, but here's the fun bit. I get to deselect everything. Relevant ads, non-Adanka. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. No more questions, okay. So that's actually also part of the reason why I have Windows Server instead of Windows 10. I mean, my computer is perfectly capable of being a server. I use it as that, but that's the reason I don't run Windows 10 is because it collects all that damn telemetry and you can't really do much about it. But with Windows Server, you can do some registry mods and group policy edits, and it all works. By the way, I used a proxy and looked at all the telemetry data, and I'll tell you, it's pretty comprehensive. Apps you're running, when you're running them, what websites you visited, etc. I mean, I understand why Microsoft wants it. I would want it too, but I would not want to give it, and I don't want to give it. Let's let Windows 10 figure out its knickknacks, and once it does that, I'll shut it down and do not a time lapse, stopwatch measurement of how long it takes to boot all these to the login screen. Oh, I probably should have not enabled auto logon for Linux Mint. I don't know. I'll just let it be. I don't really like that I did that, but at this point it's kind of too late. Same thing, I don't like that I didn't choose Pro M for the Windows 10 thing, even though it was apparently on the disk. Who knew? Not me. Okay, now that this is shut down, I'm going to go ahead and do my thing, which of course is that button, that button, that button, that button, push that button. Okay, it's kind of unfair, I know, because it has press any key to boot, but I'm just going to let them all do their thing automatically, except for this one, because this one is going to get messed up. Oh wow, I have to do a lot of resizing, because these are not the right size. I wish they'd just stay the size I put them, you know? Because there's kind of a reason I put them that size, but whatever. And Debian's really figured out its business. It's gonna take ages to boot, as always, but we'll see. Windows 7 I expect to take a pretty nice long time. Okay, the rest of these are taking some nice time, and I'm not really sure I like that. Well then, everyone, this has been a most eventful time. Now, I'm going to say that it was unfair to put Linux Mint last, because honestly, it had to do the extra work of logging in. So, as a consolation prize, I'm going to give it a time of 0440. Now, I understand that some of you may object, but it was my stupid configuration fault, and to fix it would probably take 30 minutes. This rate, it's already 3 in the morning, so I just want to go to sleep. Anyway, for that matter, I hope you all had a good time, anyone who watches this now or in the future, and hope it was very interesting to see our comparison of the time it takes for some of your favorite operating systems to boot, and of course to install. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn all of these off. I don't really care about losing data, because guess what? These were all temporary, and I'm going to delete them. In fact, if anyone wants to see me delete them, I'm probably going to go ahead and start doing that now. So then, it'll be just a moment while I dispose of all this. Delete, 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 delete. Okay, all that's deleted. So I'm just going to go ahead and close all these darned windows. And so here's in fact the only this is okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I should probably select them all first. Sorry about that loud noise. Okay, then delete. And I do want to delete them. They're gone forever. Now they're actual hard disks, that's another story. And you know what? You couldn't see an answer to that, because I was an idiot. Can we have slow claps, please? Well, whatever. I just went ahead and deleted all those, so that's that. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead, close Hyper-V Manager. Then find wherever Hyper-V stuff's stored. I think it's just in the root of this drive. Okay, I've cleared out all that. Then you'll see this window, which contains a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna delete that. Windows 95 is old. Windows 7, gonna get deleted. OpenSUSE, that's fine. New virtual machine, delete. Linux Mint, delete. Debian XFCE, I actually use that one, and same with this Windows 10 one. But this one, gone. So then, I hope you had a very good time, because if you didn't, there's basically nothing I can do about it. But anyway, good day. And with that, I think I'm going to close this live stream, which has been going on for, wow, that's a while. It's been going on for 1 hour and 32 minutes. So hopefully my key combination still works, because if it doesn't, this is going to be a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Let's try it.